All right, we should be good now. That was weird. I don't know how that even got deleted. No sound. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hopefully now. I was messing with my OBS, so it started getting a little. Probably deleted it by accident. Let's see. All right, we should be good. Yeah, now I know. Okay, perfect. What's good, everybody? My fault. I didn't even know there was no sound. I'm over here teaching like crazy and nobody could even hear me. Good morning. What's good, everybody? Now we can hear you. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I'm over here teaching like crazy and you guys couldn't even hear me. What's good, everybody? Good morning. Yeah, I completely forgot. If you guys actually see here on my OBS, I completely forgot to re-add my mic. So that's why I always make sure. But what's good, everybody? Good morning. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. Hopefully everybody's having a splendid morning as well. So that first half of the recording is probably going to get edited out. But what's good, everybody? Hopefully everybody's good. Hopefully everybody had an outstanding weekend as well. So again, just to kind of go over everything again and reintroduce everything was good. Again, I'm just going to go over some charts, really identify some possible trade opportunities, answer any and all questions that you guys have, and really look at some charts that you all want to take a look at as well. I think it's important that we look at something relevant or something of relevance to you guys, something that you're all going to learn and obviously pay attention to and retain that knowledge. So that way you can all become more consistent and profitable traders on your own. I think that's really important that we all try to get to that level where we can at least try to be as consistent as profitable or as consistent as possible to be as profitable as possible as well. So I'm going to try to help you guys to the best of my abilities with these sessions. They're going to really help me and my legacy students because I'm going to be marking these charts up, really getting everything game plan and ready. And then obviously right after this, I'm going to jump onto a session with them and see what trades that we can actually place together, what trades I could place in our auto trader and send out as a signal as well. So you guys are going to really be helping us and I'll be helping you. So it's advantageous on both ends. So I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate the time that you guys spend with me. If you know anybody who's obviously going to benefit from any type of knowledge or information or even profits from this, by all means, I'll be extremely grateful if you could share this with somebody else so that way anybody else can obviously get this information. So real quick, again, thank you guys and let's begin. So what I was doing before, I didn't even know that nobody can even hear me. You guys are probably just looking at a blank ass screen. You guys can see here that I'm looking at Bitcoin. And what I'm looking at with Bitcoin is it's a few things, right? Because this market overall, we can see the overall trend is very bullish. That's important. Now, with that overall bullish idea, there are a few things that we need to take into consideration that could show us that this market is most likely going to either continue to be bullish or even potentially sell right now. I got this creaky ass chair, my bad. So what I'm really looking at is the idea of the immediate trend, the highs here and the lows down here. Now, I know there's a lower point, but I'm talking about more along the lines of the current low where the market currently is creating that level of structure, which is roughly around here. But if we identify this is an entire zone, right? So we're reaching this entire point and it's really reaching that level of support because we can see how this market reacted around here once before. That's important to me because obviously there could be a reaction from there once again. But what I'm really identifying is this pattern. This pattern's a really strong idea. Right, that head and shoulders pattern. That head and shoulders pattern, as you can see, was already broken. The neckline of it, at least. So the neckline has already been broken and also retested. This is why I'm trying to tell everybody to kind of be a little bit careful with Bitcoin. But with this idea, this is kind of putting us in a crossroads. I'm actually going to be specific and put our structure there. I know that's not the most accurate, but the reason why I'm putting it there is because we could kind of cheat. We can see where the market low here is for this level of support. So I'm just going to put it there just for clarity, just for, easier on the eyes to see, if you will, right? So I'm looking at here is, again, this level of current structure is showing me that this could be a level of support for potential buys, but we've already got the idea of this head and shoulders pattern being broken, or the neckline rather. So it's completed. And with that head and shoulders pattern being completed, we can obviously identify some potential long-term sells. Now, this is where we're not understanding, but not knowing where it's going to go because it's in a consolidated or a little range, if you will. So, ranging market, at least the current market right here, right? So what I would like to see is a break of either end here on Bitcoin. So either to the upside or to the downside. Either end is where the market is most likely going to want to continue to go. I think a lot of individuals, including myself, would love to see Bitcoin skyrocket. I would personally love to see that. But we have to take into account what it's currently giving us. And that's just to start us off with here with Bitcoin, just to make sure that we are at least learning and progressing. But any questions that you guys have, any specific markets you would like to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I'll definitely take a look at those so that way we can begin. And then I'll make sure that if you guys hear my phone in the background, my fault. I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys can hear me. I don't want to have a mishap like that again. That's mad funny though. I was literally just teaching my my heart out, and I'm just like, yeah, I got you guys. And nobody can hear me, so I find that hilarious. But I am taking a look at the chat, so if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know in the chat. There is a delay as well, so please do not mind that delay. I don't know why it's like that, but for some reason it's like 7 to 10 seconds, I feel like. So if it seems like I'm ignoring you, I promise you I'm not. All right, so let me actually go ahead. I know a lot of individuals, including myself, I like to take a look at gold. Gold is one of my favorite markets to trade, and this has been in such a strong bullish rally with, you know, little to no like bearish move. It's important that we take a look at this to see what it really is going to give us for the long term. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm on the weekly, but I'm obviously going to scale down to smaller time frames to get more analysis and be detailed. So what I'm looking at right now is we're not really at a level of structure. I would actually like to see this come back up to these highs here. Now I'm just drawing these 2 points, one being the actual high where the wick is and where the body of where these candles have closed. Those could be two potential sell areas or just resistance, if you will. So as of right now, we can see what the market is currently giving us. If I actually just, let me see if this trend line actually connects. I mean, yeah, we could use this trend line as well. I personally would like to use this one, though. Was it this one? Yes. So we can see how this trend line here was used from the previous time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know what a trend line is. It is simply a line showing you the direction of the trend, the market. Very simple, right? I think a lot of us have this misconception that trading is this extremely hard thing. It can be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying trading is super easy and I'm the master of trading. Absolutely not, by no means. But when we look at trading in a more common sense manner, everything starts to become a little bit easier to see and identify. So I can see again these levels of, I'll just put this resistance. I cannot spell today. Resistance. And I'm not going to draw a big zone here. Again, I want clarity in my chart. I don't want everything to just look like crazy where I don't know where my charts are. Actually, this would be not too, that's actually not bad because on the smaller time frames, I'm not even going to see this for the most part. So we should be solid. So now that, again, I'm seeing this level of resistance, I'm going to scale down to the daily. I was going to see if maybe we could do it here on the weekly. We can, but I want to be a little bit more detailed. Now I'm going to draw my structure roughly around here. Now I'm just drawing the line again because I don't want so much on my chart. I want to be able to just see really quick, identify. Now I know when I draw this out, you're going to be like, but Jay, there's breaks above, this being a break, this being a minor break. I do identify that and I do see that. I just don't like my zones that big. I see a lot of people do that. And I personally am looking for specific things. And what I'm looking at here was, this was a high point. This was a level of structure. I understand that also this was a high point. Yes, I understand that. But I can already tell, because the market is currently way above that, that has been broken. When I see that, that's telling me that the bulls, the buyers, are still very much within the market, and I should still be looking for potential buys. Now, I'm just going to make this a little bit more. There we go. Now, what I would do is, and I'm just going to delete, well, not everything. I'm just going to delete this right now. I'm just drawing that up for the visual so that way you guys can identify and see what I'm seeing. What I am going to do, excuse me, is I'm going to draw, I'm actually going to, yeah, I'll keep that right there, actually, because I do think that's the most, like, relevant level of structure, if you will, of previous resistance. Now, why is that important? Because This is a strong impulsive move with literally, I think, like no correction, if you will. So if we go from these highs, this is going to have to correct somewhere, which will be beautiful because we could get into the sells and then the potential buys. I think that would be great. What I do think will end up happening is gold will reach these highs. That will cause the correction to the downside or even a potential sell. Now, I'm not saying or drawing this out so that way we can all look for sells once it reaches there. We have to let the market obviously, develop, really show us and convince us that it does in fact want to sell. And then we'll look for sells down to that buy range. Once we enter that or look for that buy range, or rather reach that buy range, then we could identify obviously potential buys. But we're at a crossroads here too, because we're not at our level of structure. We're not at our sells, and we're obviously nowhere near our buys. So in a situation like this, a lot of individuals be like, what should I do? What should I look at? Just sit on your hands. Don't do anything. Let the market reach your area. Plan your trade, trade your plan. That's a saying that I live by. You know what I mean? Whether it works in your favor or not, you still followed your discipline. You still identified what you thought the market was going to end up doing. So I do think that with gold right here, that's what we should be looking at. But I see a few people on right now, so it was good, everybody. Again, good morning. Hopefully everybody's getting some information and knowledge. What markets do you guys want to take a look at? What questions do you all have? Again, I really want to make sure that we're identifying something of relevance for you. Make sure that you're going to take something from one of these sessions and really apply it to your own individual trading, so that way you can become more profitable within your own trading journey. I think that's really important for everybody. So again, there is a delay. So if you're asking me a question right now, and you're like, you don't see it, I don't. So give it a couple seconds. If I see your question pop up or whatever market you want to take a look at, I'll definitely do that here in a second. But yeah, again, I really want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance and helping you guys out to the best of my abilities. So as we wait, or as I wait rather, in case anybody has typed anything, I am going to take a look at some other charts, see if there's any other potential ideas for trades. Now, I do actually want to take a look at some of these Aussie pairs, because these things are crazy right now. So what I'm looking at with any Aussie pair at this point, I think AUD CAD is a great starter point, is we can see how bullish these damn things are, right? These things are not going in any type of bearish direction. It's kind of like gold, right? They're more along the lines of looking to continue in the direction that they're going in. So looking at AUD CAD, we're going to take a strong look at what has previously happened and what's currently happening and what's most likely going to happen. So I'm on the daily time frame. I guess you guys can see a really, I would say, strong theme, if you will. So what I'm looking, give me 1 second. What is this? Oh, okay. My bad, everybody. I got 3 computers running over here. I'm over here looking at an auto trader. I'm looking at teaching you guys. I got mad stuff going on. So what I'm currently looking at here with AUD CAD is, again, on the higher time frame, the one thing I'm looking at is this. We had our bearish trend line. So if we identify from these highs and connect our points, this bearish trend line was extremely important. But we had a break above, or breakout rather, of that bullish trend line, or a bearish trend line rather, and we had a bullish move. Now with that bullish move, we can see how impulsive that's reacted. What can I identify now? We're at a level of structure here with AUD CAD. Now I'm going to be specific to the point here. I'm actually going to draw it to the actual starting point of the trend line. And you can see here this. So being that right now AUD CAD is within a strong level of structure, and we have no correction after this strong impulsive move from these lows to these highs, we could look for something. We could look for potential sells. Now, this would be just for AUD CAD. I'll take a look at some other Aussie pairs. Obviously, we got to take a look at those and make sure that we are treating them as individual markets, right? Because AUD CAD could be looking for sells, and then AUD USD could just obviously still look for buys. But what I'm looking at is, again, this idea that AUD CAD has reached a strong level of structure after having a strong impulsive move of a breakout from a trend line with no correction. When we scale down to a smaller time frame, we can do a few things. Would I do this on the daily? Yeah, I would do this on the daily. So actually, that's a gap. Let me just double check what I'm looking at to see. Yes, that is a gap. So I'm really not going to take that into consideration. So what I'm doing is trying to identify the best area for me to place my Fibonacci retracement tool. And as you can see here on the smaller time frame, being the 4 hour, this is an impulse. This is a correction. So what I need to do is take my fibs from these lows to these highs. And what you can see there is, let me get rid of a few things. So again, there's no confusion. Get rid of that. If we identify the break of that trend line in this level of structure, we have a potential trade setup around that 786 and or 886. Obviously having confluence of other factors within the market. So right now, I would think that AUD CAD is setting up for a potential sell. As it's setting up for that sell, we have a strong buy range. I would think that this will just continue to buy tremendously for the majority of all Aussie pairs, for that matter. So strong, or I'll just put kill zone for buys, for buy kill zones. Now, what I will be doing is I'll be sharing these charts with you guys on the Discord, so everybody could obviously understand exactly what we looked at. You can come back to the recording as well too, if you would like, but just to make it easier, I'll put the actual charts here that we're taking a look at on our Discord, so everybody could follow and you don't lose track of anything. So again, real quick, that is a strong idea here with AUD CAD. No questions. I think everybody's just paying attention and listening, which is cool. I appreciate you guys' time. That's either way, as long as you guys are learning, as long as we're taking a look at some charts. Again, this is helping me help my students. We're looking at a few things. Obviously, I actually did go ahead and have a nice little buy set up for a trade that they're currently in, and it's in small profits. Hopefully the other two trades that we're in as well end up in some nice profits, because I do see these ending up beautiful for us. I mean, I know I'm over here, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm on my other computer, but I just got to make sure our auto trade is setting up pretty good as well. So that one trade right now is in profits. The other two seem like they're going to start nearing in profits sometime soon. So that's actually perfect. I like that. And we'll take a look at some other trades. I will see if there's one trade or a few trades maybe that we can even place here together. I want to do that on a daily basis, at least share a trade or two with you guys here. If not on here, obviously I'll send that as a signal on the Discord. I want to try to do that at least once or twice a day. Send you guys at least maybe 200-300 pips a week just on the Discord side. I know 200-300 pips flat out is a pretty solid, still really good week. So I mean, even free value on that, it's amazing. So let me actually just see this. Yeah, this is kind of like what I thought here as well. Was the trend line? No. So I actually did have my trend line somewhat like this originally. We can see the break above that. You can see the 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. We had our 4th touch here. And at our 4th touch, we can see that the next candle, as soon as it tried to respect, the next candle broke right above, and we can see where that market's currently going. So with AUD USD, just like we were looking at with AUD CAD, it seemed like the market was going to start to sell from there. It still can. But right now, AUD USD has not reached its last previous high or level of real structure. We just broke out of that initial idea. What can end up happening, and which is probably happening right now, is a correction at least back down to the trend line, or even the last previous structure, the resistance that was broken out of, which you can see is here. So you can even have something like this, which is very valid if anybody's like, but it's breaking back within the trend line. This is on a smaller time frame. If it breaks back within the trend line and respects that structure, it can still leave a wick. The candle could look something like this, right? And leave a wick within. That's definitely going to show us that it's rejecting that the potential sells, or that correction rather, that correction's over with, and we could look for potential buys from that area. So that's what I'll be looking at here with AUD USD. Now, would I sell into that range? Not right now, because there's no reason to sell as of yet, right? So what I would be looking for is, again, to allow that to correct. But the reason why I wouldn't sell right now is because that could be the correction. It starts to skyrocket. You're looking for a sell and it just continues to buy, right? So you always want to be cautious of that. You always want to allow the markets to just develop and really show you its true idea. Again, plan your trade your plan. Hopefully that helps. But again, just seeing if anybody got anything for me. Questions, comments, concerns. Ooh, that trade is looking real good so far. I'm liking that. And then our other trade's setting up real nice too. So we got one trade in profit, two other ones looking beautiful. They're starting to reject our area of structure, and it seems like they're about to really go into deep profits. I love that. So again, questions, comments, any charts you guys want to take a look at. Just want to make sure you guys is good. Unless my comments, I ain't seeing the comments, but I see you guys on. That's what's up. All right, so again, let me go ahead and take a look at some other stuff. Let me see. Euro JPY, another market that I personally like to trade. And this is something that we definitely need to take a look at. Look at this. So we can see how heavy this market has crashed lower. Excuse me. So again, being in a higher time frame, just identifying the trend. That's important for me. I always want to see what the markets are like really doing. And we can see how it broke below this level of structure. I'm actually going to draw it like this. All right. Very significant level of structure was broken. We can see how this was a support and now no longer a support. It's now going to be a potential resistance point. I'm actually going to make this a little bit more smoother now because we could cheat. We can see where that level of structure was broken out of. Very simple idea, and we can actually see it's probably going to start happening now. We can see how Euro JPY, at least here on the daily, is leaving a wick to the downside. That's important. If you're a legacy student, you're on this, you already know what that means. If you're a new legacy student, you don't know what that means, I'll teach you right after this session. It's fairly simple, but a concept that not a lot of people try to, or I think forget in a sense. So what we can see here is this candlestick showing us a very important idea. And it's not necessarily, let me actually go ahead and take a look to the left to get right, see if we're at any structure. We are kind of within a level of a cluster of structure, actually. I actually say here because that's the actual low point. Yeah, we can actually say that we've reached a level of significant, I wouldn't say significant, but something that's going to give us a correction, if you will, because we can see what used to be resistance here ended up being support, and then resistance again, and then it was heavily broken out of. So let's actually draw that. So me being able to see something like that, that's telling me that this could obviously cause a correction. That's beautiful. That's what I want to see. Now, if I scale down to a smaller time frame, what can we do? I can now use a Fibonacci retracement tool from the swing highs here to swing lows and see what this market's going to give us. And we can see here now we have a kill zone right between that 71 and that 786. So let me actually make this a little bit more specific. Nope. There we go. And now we have a sell kill zone. See, you guys get me ready for my session with my students. Now I see some really good potential ideas and trades setting up. I like it. Ooh, our one trade has just skyrocketed in profits, about 30 pips. I love that. So, again, what I'm going to do is, let's actually just draw this up. And again, I'm going to be sharing these with you guys in the Discord. So if you're not a part of the Discord, I definitely want to make sure that you guys are. It's in the description of this video. So if you guys want, make sure that you stay updated with everything. So let me go ahead and say sell kill zone. And we can actually draw a trend line here. Somebody said Euro USD. I'll take a look at that. Would I draw? Oh, nah, I don't like that. I don't ever like drawing a trend line where there's a lot of space in between movements, meaning that it's like this. Like this is cool. Like we have a touch. We can actually just bring this down just a tad bit more. So we have touch here, the base, secondary, trigger being where you pull the trigger for your initial trade. And then you can see here, there's really not enough, there's some space in between, but there wasn't in the beginning. So I like my trend line like this a lot more. So this is our confluence for Euro USD, for Euro JPY. We will be taking a look at Euro USD right now, just so that way we have a strong idea of what could potentially happen next, and then go from there. But let me actually just So what I will do is, let me do this. There was AUD CAD. We did look at AUD USD? Yes, we did. So I'll make sure that I mark this up, send this up in the Discord for you guys as well, so you're all privy to what's going to happen with that. And we'll take a quick look at Euro USD. Where you at? Where you at? There it is. All right, so let me get rid of this, and we'll go over everything. There's nothing on it, so perfect. That's weird because I actually did have you. Oh, no, I deleted everything before our session. There we go. I was wondering. I was like, I had everything marked up. All right, so very strong. I mean, this is a simple concept as well, and it's funny that you brought us a Euro USD. But the one thing I am looking at is, again, I'm on the weekly time frame because on the daily, I'm not too sure how far back. It looks choppy and looks weird. I'll actually go into the monthly, just so that way, again, I want to identify everything. I think, and also the people have a misconception that when you jump onto the higher time frames, such as the weekly, the monthly, the weekly, the daily, that you're not able to place, as many trades as you would want. You could place, like, meaning that you're only getting like one trade a month or some shit like that. Definitely not. What initially happens is when you're looking at these higher time frames, you're getting an overall idea of everything, what the market's going to do as a whole. So what I am seeing right now is that Euro USD on the monthly time frame, and I do understand that we do have some other lows down here. I get that. I'll actually draw it here, so that way we can get this candle as well. So I understand that that's a low, but what we're also looking at is we're currently at a level of current structure, which is, again, important. Because if I see that overall this market is very bearish, without a doubt, Euro USD is bearish, we're still at something important, a level of structure, support. Now, if anybody's wondering, like, you're really just looking at levels of structure, yes, I am. Because this is called price action trading. What this means is you're looking at the most relevant level of price and the actions that proceed within it. Hint, hint. Does that make sense? That's important that everybody understands that, because what we're looking at right now is a level of significant structure and the actions that's currently happening within it. Now, why is that important? Because if we can understand the actions, that we can understand our entries and potential trades. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this, because being on the weekly, we now have to scale down to the daily. The reason why I'm scaling down to the daily is because we already know that we're in a level of support, which is considered a buy range. If I know that I'm in the buy range, I can see here on the daily this candlestick. Again, if you don't understand what this candlestick means, I really suggest that you guys go ahead and pay attention to candlestick behavior and candlestick reversal patterns or patterns in general. If you are a legacy student, we're going to be going on a session. I'll kind of explain, or not kind of, I will explain the relevance and what this initially means for us. We'll also go over like some candlestick patterns and really make sure that we're understanding exactly what this candlestick is and why it's relevant at this level of structure. So, but this candlestick is telling us a very strong factor. It's telling us that this market is no longer looking at potential sells and buyers could be taking over, at least for right now. But do I think buyers, this is going to be a strong reversal? Absolutely not. I think we might just come back up to this initial range, which is beautiful, right? I think that what we're looking at is a corrective idea leading into our next potential impulsive move. So what we're looking at is this impulsive move and a correction from this support range. Now, obviously, there's a lot of price or action rather within this price, but we can see that right now the market is showing some type of correction or rejection from this area. So if I scale down to the 4 hour, we want to, and the reason why I'm scaling to the 4 hour is because I want to make sure that each time frame is telling me the same thing, right? So when I see on the 4 hour, there's not really too much that I'm going to identify as far as like structure, and I'm not going to start taking trend lines, start doing all this craziness. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. I can see even the 4 hour, we're getting wicks to the downside, which is showing us a strong idea. Now, the candlestick still has, let me see how much time it still has. Oh, it even tells me no matter what. About hour and 16 minutes left. I want to see how this candle closes and the next one opens, because that's how you allow the charts to really show you its true identity, by letting it develop, by showing you what it initially wants to do. I'm not getting too much here on the 4 hour. 2 hour, yes, look at that. On the 2 hour, you're getting a double bottom, which is important. If you don't know what a double bottom is, I suggest you go ahead and take a gander at it. Go Google it. Double bottom. So with me looking at this double bottom idea, that could tell me that sellers are no longer in the market and buyers could be taking over for the short time, right? Because I think overall this will continue to sell. You don't want to go against a strong trend like this. That's extremely risky. Unless obviously a lot of you guys, I know a lot of you understand exactly what you're doing. You have your own discipline, your own strategies, which is great. But as far as probabilities are concerned, it's very risky. If you understand what you're doing, go for it. I'm not going to, so what I'm going to do is take a look at my Fibonacci retracement tool. What I'm not going to do is take, or what I am going to do rather, is take this gap into consideration. Reason being is because when a gap happens, that's what happens over the weekend. I think nobody really understands that. The markets aren't the ones that are closed. It's the brokers. So what that means is price is still fluctuating over the weekend, obviously, because money's still being spent every single second in every single country and city and town and neighborhood, right? No matter what, there's money being spent. So what that does and reflects is the actual price movement. And what I'm personally looking at is the actual high, where the move started. It started from these highs. So I'm going to take into consideration this gap. So we got to go from the swing highs to swing lows. And what's important about that is if you're like, but there's no real structure, we got to look a little bit further left to see that. We can see this was support. And we can see how it was a level of support even here until it broke out and then got retested here. Makes sense? Why is that important? Because Euro USD could be reaching that area for a potential sell. So that'll be our sell kill zone. Real simple. Does that make sense? Does that help? Right now, I'm not advising you guys to go ahead and start buying Euro USD leading into that area of structure. That's all up to you guys. This is just an analysis that I'm giving you guys. And the double bottom again being on the 2 hour, and you can even see here on the 1 hour. Very, very important because when you're identifying something like that, you can then really determine what's going to happen next. This can also do something like this. I'm going to get rid of the fib now. I'll keep everything else because, sell kill zone, I'll know exactly what that means, and I'll just go draw my fib up once again, and it'll match perfectly with whatever fib ratio that was. I think it was a 71 and the 78.6. What can happen next, and which will give us further confluence, and as I continue to explain this, because I know there's a delay, let me know what other charts you would like to take a look at. We could definitely go ahead, identify a bunch. I really want to make sure that you guys are being pointed in the right direction, and really understanding what we're looking at with this week's markets. So I'm actually going to go ahead and draw this trend line here. And what else can we identify? Well, right now, this is a level of resistance because it's also hitting a level of previous support. What used to be support is now a level of resistance. But I do think that's going to be broken out of to the upside, at least to give us another idea. Can't come back up here, create an inverted head and shoulders pattern. As it does, that will then give us the strongest idea for the buys, at least to our potential kill zone for sells. That is my honest opinion on what could potentially happen with Euro USD. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Now, I really want to see how this market reacts from here. Because if it shows me something, at least something significant, if you will, like some type of rejection, then the buys probably won't happen as, I would say, impulsive. But if we see a strong break above this level of structure, we're definitely looking for those continuation buys. Now, what's important to understand is that the double bottom piece has already been broken, the middle piece, if you will. That usually indicates buyers are going to start taking control, but we still need to allow this to develop a little bit more to really show us its next potential move. So, yeah, hopefully that helps with Euro USD. But any other questions? Any other charts, any other markets you guys want to take a look at? Hopefully you guys are learning something. Hopefully everybody's understanding exactly what I'm showing you. If not, let me know. I'll try to make it a little bit more simple. But yeah, questions, comments, anything you guys got, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. I got to start getting ready for our morning session with legacy students. really start identifying and marking up some more charts in greater detail, helping everybody understand how to become a lot more profitable, and really, again, just assisting in the best way possible, best way that I can. And obviously placing trades while we're on there, if there is any. I think I might go back to Euro AUD really quick because I think there might be a strong idea with that. Yeah, let me go back to Euro AUD. So this market, I mean, all Aussie pairs, they have been, I mean, you could see it. They have not wanted to stop. They're extremely, Aussie, the Aussie dollar has been extremely bullish. Not Euro AUD, but in the sense of where the Aussie is, it's been Euro AUD specifically has been in such a strong sell. There has been no buy corrections whatsoever. I look for buys here, nothing at all. Didn't even try to buy. Even now, let me go in the monthly. Even now, I mean, I would personally say down here for Euro AUD, because I think the Euro pound, or the Euro dollar rather, is not as strong as it should be compared to other markets. The dollar right now is extremely weak, so I mean, I don't see the dollar really going good against that for right now. That's why I do think the corrections on Euro USD would be great. But right now, I think Euro AUD, especially breaking that level of structure, is going to continue to push down lower. There might be a pullback, and I say might because there has not been one at all, but there might be one there, and then we could look for sells, continued sells rather, because that's already selling. But with Euro AUD, there might be a potential setup coming. It's just a matter of patience at this point. But yeah, I don't see any questions. I don't see any other charts you guys want to take a look at. But I do appreciate your time, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to be doing these, as you guys can see in the description, Monday through Friday. I might actually just do them Monday through Thursday because I personally don't trade on Fridays. But Monday through Thursday, we're going to be doing these every day at 7 a.m. I really appreciate if you guys would jump onto these charts with me and really make sure that we're staying on top of our game. Somebody asked, here to know how your analysis the market and learn some strategy if you can. I kind of went over that. But yeah, definitely got you. I'll be doing these again every single day, Monday through Friday at this point. But again, it might be a little bit more on Monday through Thursdays, only because, again, I personally don't trade on any Fridays. I let the markets that's my day off, if you will, from like trading. Obviously, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm not trading. I'm just allowing the markets to kind of do what they do and let the markets close and come back the next following week. But I will be doing this. Yeah, absolutely, Terrence. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody's time. What I will be doing is, again, I'll be in the Discord. I'll be sending these charts up that we just took a look at, and I'll be posting those in our Discord. If you're not in our personal Discord, the link is in the description. So by all means, feel free to join. It's nothing but analysis, nothing but trade ideas. I really want to build a strong community based around trading and profits and really helping everybody at least become a little bit better. You know what I mean? Obviously, Legacy students, if you're on this right now, I'll be seeing you guys shortly here within about 30 minutes for our Legacy session. I do think we might have some trades that we will be placing if they're not already placed in the auto trader. Also, if there's any signals, I'll post those up for you guys as well. In the free Discord, I will be sharing at least 1 or 2 signals a day with you guys to help you guys become more profitable and your guys' week, beautifully as well. So I appreciate every last one of you guys. I'll see you guys more consistent every single day. If you guys need anything, feel free to hit me up, send me a message, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, smoke signal, Morse code, email, does not matter. I definitely got you all. With that being said, I highly appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. And yeah, see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Legacy students, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, everybody. Thank you.